This idea of when will you really know what it's all about? And so, arrogance is a nice way to say anyone who really thinks they've got it figured out, well, they're really in trouble. When you think about what you know now, hopefully what you believe and know now, you didn't believe 5 years ago, say. So hopefully what you believe now, do you understand? I actually hope you don't believe the same thing that you do now in a while. So the idea that you've got it figured out is absolutely irrational. We're constantly within a process of learning and growing. And so be very careful, mostly firstly on being too critical of yourself. You know, I should have known better, I made a mistake, rather than you're learning, hopefully, and you won't do it again. Look at the ducks.
Yeah.
After one horrible first week.
Yeah.
That was meant for Sally. In case you missed the game yesterday, 49-10. Okay. So, the fact is you can never know anything about any subject, so you're bound to make mistakes or have difficulty dealing with change. We've all been highly conditioned in childhood about what's right and wrong, about our self-perception and self-esteem, and any number of things that can make us feel less flexible and limit our ability to deal with change in life's difficulties. We have to be right, and we become remarkably self-critical in the process. This does not bring peace of mind. In fact, it usually leads to trying to please others and a significant loss of self-acceptance. You simply can't please everyone. We all have lots of different life experiences and different truths. I believe peace of mind comes when we realize we'll never have it figured out, never be in complete control, and it doesn't matter. That one's a little hard for some folks to come to terms with. It doesn't matter if you honestly can understand the idea of everyone having a different life experience and a different truth. Nobody's got it all figured out. That's the folly or arrogance of criticism. The fact is you can't even know for certain what's right for you, let alone what's right for someone else. Instead, we learn to conform and feel good about ourselves, largely when we're pleasing others and trying to fit in. The research and common sense are that we feel best and are most healthy when we are able to be ourselves, when we are being unique. However, we've become a clone of our parents, community, and culture. This is how we come to feel loved and accepted. At a deep psychic level, we equate conforming with being loved. And in the process of constantly trying to fit in, we become quite inflexible. As we mature and learn and grow, we realize our beliefs and values change. But deep within, we believe that to change or not conform means we'll be unloved, won't fit in, and will be rejected. Most of this is taking place in our subconscious mind, but the dissonance and stress are real. Something's got to give. We've either got to change, which will create its own stress, or we can remain inflexible, which will disenable us to deal with the inevitable stresses of life. Either way, we lose and feel stuck. Here's where I want to ask you some more questions. How do you want to spend the time you have left? Trying to please others? That didn't go down well, did it?
I agree.
That was just a thing for you did in private practice, paying attention to people's body language. Forgive me. Hard to swallow. Or if you were to look back on your life, if you had to do it all over again, what would you change and do differently? Most people would play more and work less. they would have taken risks and followed their dreams versus all the things they thought they should have done. What are your dreams and aspirations? What's your bucket list? It's not too late. In the book, Regrets of the Dying, Bonnie Ware shares her experience as a palliative caregiving nurse. Do you know the book? She spent the last 3 to 12 weeks of her patients' lives listening to their stories as they faced their mortality. When questioned about any regrets they had, or anything they would do differently, here are the most common 5. 1. I wished I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This was the most common regret of all. When people realize that their life is almost over and look back clearly on it, it is easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people had not honored even a half of their dreams and had to die knowing that it was due to choices they had made or not made. Now I want to tell you a personal story that really came to me that's very meaningful for me, that hopefully will have meaning for you in this idea of sometimes we just passed up something that we really wished we had done differently. And I want to share this one story of a young man, young at the time, who chose to truly follow his dreams. And this goes back maybe 50 years. My best friend at the time, when I was in my 20s, my friend's name was Jamie Haddad. And Jamie was a drummer in a rock band. I love Jamie, I love the band, I love going to hear him, watch him perform and all. But at some point he shared with me a story where his dad confronted him with the idea that you'll never make money as a musician. You could not continue your focus on, I'm going to be a drummer. And Jamie said his daddy pulled out a wad of dollar bills, threw it on the table. This is what it's all about. And you've got to find something else to follow to in your life. So here's what's really fun to share with you. I'm going to read a little bit about Jamie's bio. Jamie Haddad now holds a singular position in the world of jazz. Boy, I feel this. Woo. And contemporary music. Haddad's musical voice transcends styles and trends. And the universal quality of his playing has attracted many international collaborations with artists including Yo-Yo Ma. He toured with Paul Simon for 20 years, and Sting. He's regarded as one of the foremost world music and jazz percussionists in the United States. He has received 4 National Endowment for the Arts Fellowships to pursue jazz and international studies and collaborations. Haddad has lived and had extended study of music in North Africa, Brazil, Venezuela, and the Middle East. He is now he was a full-time professor at the Berklee College of Music for many years. He was a student there initially. Since 2011, he is currently a full-time professor of performance and improvisation and percussion studies at the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. My little story doesn't stop here now, also for me in a personal comment. When I turned 30 years old, Jamie's dad owned a bar, a really nice bar, King's Pub. And I decided I was going to throw my own birthday party. And so it was an open bar. And I invited as many friends as I could think of. It was quite a few. Remember open bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jamie was going to play music, and he brought some of his friends. So Jamie was on drums. Joey Lovano was on saxophone. Now, you may well not know that name, but if you are a real jazz saxophonist lover, you know that Joey won a Grammy. Joey has been mentioned in Downbeat magazines I don't know how many times. Now, I mean this while talking about Joey. Joey was a bum. Joey did not much else than just play the sax. He didn't have a job. I don't know how the guy got by. But Joey is now just another one of those who did not give up his dream and has really become quite accomplished. And then Abe Laboriel was on bass. I got to know Abe through my association with Jamie. And one time, Abe was so nice to take us backstage because he played bass for Johnny Mathis.
Ooh.
Now, Johnny Mathis is a big deal. If you're as old as I am, everybody owned Johnny Mathis' greatest hits. It was just, it was unbelievable. And then there was Kenny. I forget Kenny's last name. He became a very accomplished pianist.
Benny
So,
Loggins?
I'm sorry.
Benny Messina?
No, I don't think you would know this thing. But regardless, my point is, thank God, Jeff, Mark, whomever, you follow your dreams, you still stay steadfast in what really, really matters to you and really fills your heart. Thank you. And thank you for putting up my story and sharing it. Okay, so it is very important to try and honor at least some of your dreams along the way. From the moment that you lose your health, it is too late. Health brings a freedom very few realize until they no longer have it. Number 2, I wished I hadn't worked so hard. This came from every male patient that I nursed. They missed their children's youth and their partner's companionship. Women also spoke of this regret. But as most were from an older generation, many of the female patients had not been breadwinners. All the men I nursed deeply regretted spending too much of their lives on the treadmill of a work existence. And so now I want to just share with you briefly my continued work with Ryan. Remember the young man I'm working with, the brain tumors. And so I actually brought some of my notes, and I'll just read to you very briefly. So this is within the past 2 weeks maximum. Here's what Ryan is now saying. By the way, he was supposed to be dead by now. He's anything but dead. Okay, Ryan says, I'm going to beat this thing by telling them, people, what I did. He now values time, not making money. Time to do what I really want. He acknowledges difficulty with friends who don't understand this. People need to learn to say no and do what matters and protects their values. I can't live like I used to. How do I get people to stop thinking of me as a victim? It's exhausting. It's not about changing their behavior. This is now his inner wisdom speaking, because Ryan was thinking he needs to say something to change them. You need to prioritize or change your friendships. And so this is just a language Ryan uses. Are you on my boat or not? Do you like that one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So this one really surprised me, honestly, because it took a lot of courage to ask this question. How much time do I have left? He's asking his inner wisdom. You ready? A hell of a lot longer than you realize. And then just one other fun thing. Only last weekend, Ryan and his wife and 3 young children knew a good friend who had tickets to go to the White House to trick or treat. And I wish that I could have brought a photo, I thought maybe, to show you in line and with President Biden and his wife Jill. And yeah, so just again, for all of those who follow their dreams and their heart as best they can. Number 3, I wished I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Many people suppressed their feelings in order to keep peace with others. As a result, they settled for a mediocre existence, never became who they were truly capable of becoming. Many developed illnesses relating to the bitterness and resentment they carried as a result. We cannot control the reactions of others. However, although people may initially react when you change the way you are by speaking honestly, in the end, it raises the relationship to a whole new and healthier level. Either that or it releases the unhealthy relationship from your life. Either way, you win. Number 4. I wished I had stayed in touch with my friends. Often, they would not truly realize the full benefits of old friends until their dying weeks, and it was not always possible to track them down. Many had become so caught up in their own lives that they had let golden friendships slip by over the years. There were many deep regrets about not giving friendships the time and effort that they deserved. Everyone misses their friends, and when they are dying. You know, I just wrote a testimonial for a book for a friend who just written called This Is Not My First Rodeo. Does that sound right? Not My First Rodeo.
Yeah.
So, Ron Green, the author, was the mayor of Yachats for 8 years. 8 years. And we'd become friends. And he's just such a great example of how, by the way, he was a very high-ranking ranger in the state of California, where, you know, park ranger, he was like the superintendent or whatever. And most of his buddies, who now, at least once a year, they got together to go fishing. And it was more than fishing, of course. It was about the camaraderie, the stories, God knows what all, but the great fun they had in getting together and continued to do it year after year after year. And so he wrote this little book talking about the value of maintaining these friendships. And so what a wonderful way to remind me and you about how important it can be and how meaningful. And of course, from my perspective in Mind, Body Matters, there's no way this isn't extremely healthy. It is common for anyone in a busy lifestyle to let friendships slip. But when you are faced with your approaching death, the physical details of life fall away. People do want to get their financial affairs in order if possible, but it is not money or status that holds the true importance for them. They want to get things done in order more for the benefit of those they love. Usually, though, they are too ill and weary to ever manage this task. It all comes down to love and relationships in the end. That is all that remains in the final weeks. Love and relationships. And number 5, I wish that I had let myself be happier. This is a surprising, common one. Many did not realize until the end that happiness is a choice. They had stayed stuck in old patterns and habits. The so-called comfort of familiarity overflowed into their emotions as well as their physical lives. Fear of change had them pretending to others and to themselves that they were content, when deep within they longed to laugh properly and have silliness in their life once again. Yeah. Halloween is just such a wonderful example that just passed. It's a wonderful time to let your hair down and quit acting your age. The crazy thing is, at what age are you supposed to be?
That's what I was just thinking.
Okay. When you are on your deathbed, what others think of you is a long way from your mind. How wonderful to be able to let go and smile again, long before you are dying. So this is her last comment. Life is a choice. It's your life. Choose consciously, choose wisely, choose happiness. And then one last reading that is one of my very favorites from all of the Conversation with God books. I've titled it Propriety. The trouble with propriety is that someone has to set the standards. This means automatically that your behaviors are being limited, directed, dictated by someone else's idea of what should bring you joy. In matters of sexuality, as in all other matters, this can be more than limiting. It can be devastating. I can think of nothing more sad than a man or a woman feeling they'd like to experience some things and then holding back because they think that what they've dreamt of, fantasized about, would violate the standards of propriety. Mind you, you're a good audience today. Mind you, it's not something that they wouldn't do, it's just something that violates propriety. Not just in matters of sexuality, but in all of life. Never, ever, ever fail to do something simply because it might violate someone else's standards of propriety. Now this is God speaking. If I had one bumper sticker on my car, it would read, violate propriety. Okay, thank you. When Jeff first read that, he said, oh, well, this will be good. So I gave him a new reading, and I said, I'll read it. Okay, now please, I'll lead you in a guided meditation. So please make yourself comfortable, and then close your eyes. And at first I simply want you to pay attention to your breathing. Simply be aware that you're breathing in and out. Meditation is all about learning to focus your attention. And now as you pay attention to breathing in and out, I want you to understand it's all made up. You create your reality. Are you being true to yourself? Are you following your heart? I now want you to ask your soul, what's one change you recommend I make? Take your time.
attention. Your words and the music are beautiful together. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Dean. Wonderful message. So as many of you know, we vote in June what our next 12 months community partners will be. Is that right? What's the, is it singular, possessive, plural? So we have community partners that we select, right? And the community partner for November and December is Sayusla Outreach Services. And we're going to be taking a collection each Sunday for SOS. So we're going to pass the basket in a few minutes, and we're going to ask that you consider SOS as well as our fellowship. Here's the basket. You'll notice on one side we have our fellowship, and the other side is a $5 bill I found in the parking lot. That is going to represent SOS. And at this time I'm going to invite Tuvia to come up and tell us a little bit about SOS, especially for those of you who don't know about this fine organization. Tuvia?
Thank you, Sally. So many times people are confronted with a critical situation, spousal abuse, things that happen within the family, abuse, hurt, pain. And there are times when individuals don't know where to turn or what to do. And there is a place for them here in Florence, Sayusla Outreach Services, which takes them in and helps them heal, protects them, and does what must be done so that they can regain their lives. Please consider Sayusla Outreach Services as something that we should all support. Thank you.
Now, Tuvia, repeat after me. Sayusla, not Sayusla. That was people in town.
I will learn.
Sayusla, Sayusla. Sayusla. Thank you very much. Oh, God bless him. God bless him. I know. So yes, we want to support SOS, and we want to support this particular fellowship who survives because of your contributions and your pledges. So we really appreciate your contributions and such. And so as we begin this ritual we do every Sunday, I ask that you repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
All that I receive.
All that I receive.
I am prosperous now.
I am prosperous now.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
So as this basket comes to you today, if you're not at a point to be able to give, that's fine. Just pass it with love to the next person. And I'm going to ask Catherine if you'll help on this side. And Julie, will you help on this side? And yeah, so we're going to pass the basket. And while we do this, we're going to have some announcements. All right, so this is our time to share announcements. I'm going to start. So there's 2 or 3 I want to share with you. One is coming up this Thursday, November 10th, are the Celtic Harps. This is an incredible concert. These individuals are going to bring some music and stories and their love of this musical instruments, plural. You're invited to come. We're asking for a suggested donation of $20 at the door. It helps to pay their expenses for being here. They're traveling all up and down the coast and all around this part of the country. They came to us a few years ago and it was a sellout crowd. So we invite you to come to hear the Celtic Harps on Thursday. Doors will open about 6:15-ish. Concert will start at 6:30. It will be seating as you see right now with more chairs as needed. So yeah, Celtic Harps.
Sally,
Yes, Mark.
repeat after me.
Celtic.
Celtic.
It's not the Boston Celtics. It's the Boston Celtic.
They won't be playing basketball.
Thank you. Celtic Harps. Wonderful. Bless you all. Just aren't you special? So Carol has has her mandala, am I saying that right? Mandala, it's a mandala, on Saturday, the 12th, and then we have a board meeting coming up also on Wednesday at 3:30 if you want to come see the inner workings of this particular board of your fellowship. Two other things, Holly Jolly Follies are coming up, and we have Sweet Charity, which is a production of Last Resort Players. Fabulous entertainment coming up in the next few weeks. Check out the Florence Event Center. Get your tickets now, get them often, and enjoy yourself in Florence. Who said there's nothing to do here? That was somebody who moved away, because he said there was nothing to do here. Any other announcements you would like to share, please come forward. Let's get it on the camera. And as you do that, I also want to thank Don Gardner. I want to thank India and Randall and Lydia. And who else was there? Ryan was there, myself, food lunch, free lunch program. On Thursday, we made a hearty soup, fabulous tossed salad, and I think we provided over 53 bowls of salad and soup to our guests who came through our door. So the free lunch program, awesome opportunity to serve our general public. Sign up, be there, cook soup, serve, do whatever you need to do. But it's an actual fun thing to do. So thank you, Don, for getting that started. I also say, and for those who are watching this tape recorded later, just know that you're welcome to partake in your giving. If you'd like to donate to SOS, you can do it directly to them if you'd like, or you can do it by selecting the donate button on our website, and we can take care of your donation at that point. Or you can send us a check, P.O. Box 2502, Florence, 97439. So thank you for that. Any other announcements other than the Celtic harps in the Siuslaw area? Fred, would you like to come forward and share an announcement, or do you want to just, yeah, come on forward.
We have decided to go forward with our Soto Zen Buddhist meditations. As you all probably know, I've repeated enough that I'm leader of that group. We will start on Tuesday the 15th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've got a few flyers with me that I'll be happy to give to anyone who's interested in our practice and our particular form of meditation. We welcome people who are newcomers, who have not meditated, those who haven't meditated in a long time, and just those who are curious. So you can come and join us and find out what we do.
Tuesday, what time?
Tuesday at 2.
Tuesday at 2.
At 2,
Right
yes.
here. Right here.
Right here. So we'll look forward to sharing our practice with you. And thank you very much for the time to chat.
Thank you.
Yay.
Wonderful opportunity to connect with this wonderful man. Any other announcements? Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate your patience in all of the little snafus we've had, and I'll get that Celtic thing going here real soon. So I want to close by saying that we thank you for your spiritual practice of giving. I know that it's a practice. It's something we do every day in our lives in other areas. You brush your teeth every day. You know, you do things every day. It becomes a practice. It becomes a routine. And when you come to church on Sunday, if you can have that practice of giving, I hope it fills you as much as it fills us. And we appreciate that. So thank you. I invite Catherine to come forward. We're going to extinguish our flame, and we're going to ask the children if they want to come in as we do this, if you'll help with that, Stanley. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be loving. You're free to put your phone on airplane mode and collect all those messages. And we're going to rise as you are able. We're going to go around the chairs, around the podium. We're going to form a big circle, hold hands as you wish. Not necessary, lock arms. We're going to sing our peace song. So Rob and Sherry, the words are on the back of the program, unless you know the words. We invite you to sing along, or at least pretend. Also, at the end of service, we invite you to join Dr. Dean Shrock in our library, where he'll host a dialogue circle and to help deepen your understanding of his message, what you got from it. Also invite you to our food cafe for some light refreshments. And finally, Reverend Catherine Hemmons, where are you? Right over here. If anyone would like private counseling or affirmative prayer, see Catherine before you leave and set a time to have that done. Okay? Are we ready, Jeff? We are ready. A peace song.